Oh, hello everyone. I am back to read another Choose Your Own Adventure. This one is called Ghost Hunter, and it's by Edward Packard, and it's Choose Your Own Adventure number 52. Here's the detail of the cover art. Hey Rachel. Hey Beth. I apologize also, my hands look a little strange, or if they do, or I don't know if that'll show up, but I have a pretty bad case of poison ivy right now in my arms. So, anyways, I'll read the back cover. You're the star, 20 thrilling endings. Can you find the ghost of Harlow Thrombey? Since the day you solved the Harlow Thrombey murder case, you've been a famous detective. But now you've decided to try a new career, ghost hunting. And you're going to start with the ghost of Harlow Thrombey himself. You're in the dark, gloomy basement of the Thrombey mansion when a white glow suddenly appears at the top of the stairs. You hear eerie, echoing peals of laughter. It's Harlow Thrombey's ghost. Thanks, Rachel. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like all over my arms, so I'll get through it. It's going to be pretty uncomfortable. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Jesse. All right. If you run up the stairs towards the ghost, turn to page 37. If you look for another way out of the basement, turn to page 71. Watch out! There's more than ghosts in the Thrombey mansion. If you're not careful, you may meet your end at the hands of a desperate criminal gang and become a ghost yourself. Or you may find a hidden cache. Is that a cache? Cache of priceless diamonds. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading until you've had not one, but many incredibly daring adventures. Right, and this is actually a sequel to a book from a while back, which was like Who Killed Harlow Thrombey. So now we're not trying to find out who killed him, we're trying to find out why his ghost is around. Yep, this is the guy who was murdered in the murdered mystery one. Hey, Stephanie. It's ectoplasm. Yeah, that's what's on my arms. Yep. All right, and then as usual, it has some reviews from kids that have read. Oh, Knives Out. Yeah, still. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. I still haven't seen that movie. It's supposed to be really good. I think it's the last movie that Christopher Plummer was in. Last movie he did. So that's a big reason to see it. Apparently he was good in that. All right, and then a review from teachers as well, just saying that teachers really like these books. There's a list of all the books that were, they actually had up to Choose Your Own Adventure 122, so this was apparently a reprint. Here's some of the art there. Oh, good. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Well, Valerie and I just started going to the local library here, so I'll have to look for that movie. They had a pretty good selection of movies there, on DVD. So, all right. I crave power. Did it say that? I wouldn't be surprised. That's why they have to join the evil Power Master. I already forgot. Was that what he was called? Hey, Rob. Ghost Hunter. All right. Warning: do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures you can have as you hunt for ghosts. From time to time, as you read along, you'll be asked to make decisions and choices. Your choices may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you have will be the result of the choices you make. After you make a choice, follow the directions to see what happens to you next. Think carefully before you make a move. Ghost hunting is a dangerous business. Do you have the wits and courage to survive? You're about to find out. Good luck. And that ghost doesn't look scary at all. It looks kind of bored. He looks really annoyed. Yeah, regrets. I still have some of my old choose your own adventure books. A lot of these I got through Thrift Books, the website Thrift Books. So, yeah, it's a good way to get back a lot of them. All right, here's some art here. You have a Rachel. You have a friend that's a ghost hunter. That's cool. All right, and then I'm not sure what all these symbols are. It almost looks like some like another language. All right. Ever since you solved the Harlow Thrombey murder case, your services as a private detective have been much in demand. Harlow Thrombey was one of the richest men in town, and it was a surprise when he called you in to help find out who was plotting against his life. Unfortunately, Thrombey was murdered the very night you began your investigation. His widow, Jane Thrombey, was a prime suspect, but you proved her innocence, and afterwards she continued to live in their huge Victorian house until she died of a heart attack a few months ago. You've enjoyed being a private detective, but lately you've been thinking about going into a new field. In fact, you've decided to become a ghost hunter. What got you interested was a magazine article on the subject. The author said that in most cases, a haunted house was once the scene of a murder. This fact tied in with some news you heard recently. After Jane Thrombey died a few months ago, a man named Howard Grimstone bought the Thrombey place. There's a ominous name, Grimstone. Neighbors say that strange things have been going on there. Lights on late at night, guard dogs patrolling the grounds, weird sounds coming from the house. I don't know if that's weird necessarily. Okay. The more you think about it, the more likely it seems that the ghost of Harlow Thrombey has come to haunt the house where Thrombey was murdered. Yeah, that's the first conclusion I would come to. Turn to page 2. The writing of this book is 100% ghosts. Maybe it was. Maybe they used a ghostwriter for this book. Sorry. Maybe it's not really Edward Packard. Another thing in the article caught your eye. The article said that Professor Zybock, who is supposed to be one of the world's leading authorities on ghosts, works at the Institute for Occult Studies, only a few miles from where you live. The author did not seem to have a high opinion of Dr. Zybock, however. In fact, he said this: although Dr. Zybock has interviewed hundreds of people who claim to have seen ghosts, he admits he has never seen a ghost himself. How can he be so sure, then, that ghosts really exist? Doesn't he know that people have a way of seeing what they want to see, or what they are afraid of seeing? Dr. Zybock's evidence for the existence of ghosts seems no more convincing than all the so-called evidence for UFOs and ESP. Zybock is not afraid of ghosts, that is for sure, Robin. You ask various people if they know anything about Dr. Zybock. A neighbor of yours, Mrs. Waleka, tells you that she's known Dr. Zybock for many years. I don't know whether his theories about ghosts are true or not, but I do know this, she says. He is an honest man. You wonder whether it would be useful to see Dr. Zybock or not. If you decide to pay a call on Professor Zybock, turn to page 4. If you decide to start ghost hunting without delay, turn to page 11. Mulder would definitely go to Dr. Zybock. Sorry, my phone's shaking. Totally would. Scully wouldn't, though. Zybock. I don't know if I'm, yeah, Beth, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Zybock. Should we go visit Mr. Zybock? Maybe it's Zyback? He could be an ancient alien, that's possible, Jesse. Oh, it could be on Ancient Aliens. I was thinking maybe he could be an ancient alien. Well, the ancient aliens, they were ancient, so they're no longer around, I guess. Visit the weirdo professor, Stephanie says. Rachel says ghost hunt without delay. Anyone else think we should visit Dr. Zybock? Visit Zybock? You are a Vulcan! Alright, I guess we'll visit Dr. Zybock. I think people think we should visit him. Within the hour, you knock on the door of Professor Zybock's office at the Institute. A moment later, you are greeted by a tall, slim man wearing a tweed vest and a polka dot bow tie. He ushers you into a tiny office, which is made even smaller by huge stacks of books piled up against the walls. Sit down and make yourself comfortable. The professor taps the ashes out of his pipe and stuffs in some tobacco, but evidently deciding you might not want to sit in a room full of smoke, he lays the pipe down on his already cluttered desk. What can I do for you? I'm sorry, but I have to go to a meeting and I only have a few minutes. Well, you say, clearing your throat, I read that you've done a lot of research on ghosts. I thought maybe you could give me a few tips. That guy doesn't seem like he's all that interested in talking to you. Everyone in this book, besides you, seems kind of bored, actually. Okay. Tobacco. Right. It's tobacco, yeah. That's what it is. That's why he's got all those crazy ideas. He's been smoking a little bit too much of the wacky tobacco. Tips? The professor frowns. Well, it's a very complicated subject. Not one that boils down to a few tips. That being said, I will tell you this. Number 1. Ghosts exist, but they normally don't exist in a way in which we are aware of their existence. So most of the time it doesn't matter whether they exist or not. I don't quite follow, you start to say, but the professor interrupts you with an upraised finger. I'm not surprised you can't follow. It's very complicated, as I say. But what I say next you can follow. Number 2, ghosts don't hurt people. You are more likely to be hurt if you run from a ghost than if you go toward it. The professor takes a gold watch out of his pocket and looks at it. Oops, I'm very late. As he gets to his feet and grabs his jacket from the coat stand, he waves his pipe at you. Goodbye. I wish you luck. Good day. Before you can even thank the professor, he's out the door. You glance around the cluttered little office a moment and then head home, thinking about what he said. But that was kind of useless. Actually, it tells us to go to page 11, which is the page we would have gone to originally, so we pretty much just did a detour. But we learned some useful information. Yeah, Zybock, I was thinking that. Like, I'm late. They're a very important date. Tweed. Yeah, Jesse, I was not expecting the polka dots either. Yeah, if they don't hurt people, I guess you get hurt like because it's dark out and you trip over something, maybe. Stephanie? That's my guess. Page 11. You're sitting at your desk thinking about how you might begin your work as a ghost hunter when the phone rings. It's your old friend Jenny Mudge. That's quite a coincidence. Jenny, who is also a private detective, helped you solve the Harlow Thrombey murder case. How are things, you ask? Jenny replies in her usual lively voice. Very fine. I've stopped being a private detective and decided to become a ghost hunter. That's amazing, you say. Great minds think alike. I was just about to see if I can find out whether Harlow Thrombey's ghost has returned to haunt his old house. Could be, Jenny replies, but I've learned of a house that by all reports is definitely haunted. It's just a little way out of town, the Gray Mansion. It's been empty for a long time. The place is so haunted, weird, cursed, whatever you want to call it, that no one will go near it. I called you to see if you'd like to go out there with me this Saturday. If you decide to join Jenny, turn to page 14. If you decide to hunt for Harlow Thrombey's ghost instead, turn to page 18. It sounds like she's asking us out on a date somehow. A ghost date. Haunted, weird, and cursed. Yeah, those are all kind of different things. I don't know. Go with Jenny. Jenny. Alright, we're going with Jenny. 14. When you arrive at Jenny's house on Saturday, she greets you excitedly. The Gray Mansion is still empty, she says. Then what are we waiting for? You reply. Nothing, now that I've found my flashlight, Jenny answers. There was a light drizzle falling, and the sky has an oppressive, leaden look. When you reach the top of a hill and look up at the huge Tudor house, its turrets lean, and its porches sag from decades of neglect. The massive front door is bolted shut, but halfway around the house you find an unlocked door that leads to a butler's pantry. You've hardly reached the somber, musty hallway when you hear a wailing, moaning sound that rises and falls in pitch, over and over. "This way," Jenny says, her voice a little shaky. You follow her into a large room with massive oak tables and chests and chairs covered with dark brown leather. Your eyes fixed on the great stone fireplace. The wailing sound is louder now, and it's coming straight from the fireplace. Jenny, did we forget our flashlight? Probably. That house in the photo was not a Tudor house. Yeah, apparently the artist did not know what a Tudor house was supposed to look like. Oh, leaden. A leaden look, Jesse. Go to the next page. Maybe it's only the wind, you say. Jenny clutches your arm tightly. The wind never sounds like that. Then I guess it's a ghost. Jenny places her mouth close to your ear. If we're going to trap it, we have to surround it. One of us must go up on the roof and shine the flashlight down the chimney while the other watches the fireplace. How can we get up on the roof? I noticed an upstairs porch on the left side of the house, Jenny answers. It wouldn't be hard to swing onto the roof from there. Do you want to try it, or shall I? Jenny is totally into us. That's the impression that I'm getting. The wind is much more pitchy. If you say you'll go up on the roof, turn to page 41. If you decide to stay by the chimney, turn to page 55. Romantically complicated. Why did we have to go and make things so complicated? Can't you see? Yeah. Where's the option to make out with Jenny? I don't know. It's probably there somewhere. Go David Lee Roth. Might as well jump. I feel like we should do it, right? We should do like the dangerous thing. I mean, how are we gonna look if we're just like telling Jenny to go do the dangerous thing, you know? And then something happens to her and we have to like rescue her, and yeah, so we should go to the chimney. Up on the roof. Okay, sorry, I'll stop singing. We go up onto the roof. Page 41. Last time we made Jenny do the danger, I think so. That sounds right. Leaving Jenny to watch the fireplace. And wait a second, how do you trap a ghost? I mean, a ghost... How do you like corner or try to surround a ghost? A ghost would just be able to like go right through you, right? Okay. Now I should definitely sing more? Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Alright. Leaving Jenny to watch the fireplace, you climb the broad central staircase. In the second floor hall, you find a door leading to an upstairs porch. You are about to pivot around the corner post of the porch railing out onto the roof. Though you have a good tread on your sneakers, and the roof is not steeply pitched, the slate shingles are wet and slippery, and you have to work your way up with great care. You're beginning to feel more afraid of falling than of coming face to face with the ghost. About halfway up the chimney, you pass the attic window. Looking into it, you see a face, a pale gray face with a twisted shadow of a mouth and great hollow eyes. Instinctively, you rear back, only a few inches, but enough to lose your balance. Desperately, you drop to your hands and knees to try to get traction on the roof, but it's too late. You're falling, tumbling, head over heels over the edge. Your neck twists as your head hits the hard ground. Ouch. Here we are, going up on the roof. You're dead. Dead as far as any human would say. But you aren't dead from your standpoint, because you can feel yourself floating, drifting into a house, passing like television waves through walls and doors and floors, your image invisible, floating and not always silent, but like a sometimes moaning, sometimes howling wind that whips through trees, rattles windows, and sends shafts of air past flickering candles. Your presence hovers through time. Then it moves and is felt. Lithe people, solid people, walk, run, and stumble. One gasps, Another screams, terror in their eyes, their chests tight, panting, gripped by fear. The ghost that haunts them is you. The end. And there we are, our spirit, our ghost escaping our body while our body's lying on the ground all twisted up. Yeah, that is pretty interesting, Beth, but yeah, not a great outcome. I guess so. Every time we die, we become a ghost. That's not... Sorry, your reader. Have some grief trauma. Turn to page 30, pretty much. Every ending will be to turn to page 30. Yeah, maybe we can have Jenny go up on the roof then. Maybe she'll become a ghost. That last line, Counting Crows. The ghost that haunts them is you. I know a few Counting Crows songs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which Counting Crows song that is.
I don't think it's literal.
What's that? Oh, okay. It's not literal. So should we let Jenny go up on the roof instead? See if maybe she has a better chance. Do Jenny ghost? Okay. We're gonna stand by the chimney. Do the safe thing. Just sounds like one. Yeah. Does sound like a Counting Crows song. Mr. Ghost and me tell each other fairy tales. I want to be Bob Dylan. Mr. Jones wishes he was just a ghost. Alright. Dr. Z. That would be cool. Alright. You stand by the fireplace, ready to capture the ghost if Jenny scares it out. The wailing and moaning have stopped, and you wonder if it's because the ghost knows you are tracking it down. Perhaps it's like a wild animal that, once it knows it is being stalked, freezes and waits, ready to fight or flee if its adversary comes upon it. Very slowly you inch towards the chimney. You bend down to look up the chimney. As you stoop, your eye catches a painting on the wall, one of those portraits that is painted so that the eyes seem to follow you wherever you move. You stop, hypnotized by those eyes. You wonder if you are looking at the painting of a man whose ghost now haunts his house. You shiver as the chill air coming down the chimney seems to wrap around you. Suddenly a scream from Jenny up on the roof. It's in the attic! I've got to get down! I almost fell! Well, at least she didn't fall. At least she didn't fall. Unless maybe she's at least maybe she's falling for us though. No, sorry. If you run to the upstairs porch to see if you can help Jenny, turn to page 79. If you run upstairs to the attic, turn to page 60. Yeah, Jenny almost fell, but yeah, she's obviously better on her feet than we are. She's probably wearing better sneakers, that's probably why. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Attic. Should go up to run up to the attic. The call is coming from inside the house. Go to the attic. Okay, I think run upstairs to the attic. That sounds good. All right, I think Jenny will be okay. You rush up to the attic and boldly throw open the door. Before you is a thin, frail figure. His face is pale, and his eyes have a hollow look. He turns and lurches towards you. You start to scream, but stop. It's not a ghost, but a live boy. About 16, you'd guess. His face has a gentle expression, and he looks more frightened than frightening. Please don't tell them about me, he begs. You step forward to look more closely at this poor, tattered figure. Who are you? My name is Lewis. I ran away from home. I've been living here for 2 months. I make these weird noises to scare people away. If they find out I'm not a ghost, they'll kick me out, and I have no other place to stay. Hello? Are you up in the attic? It's Jenny's voice from downstairs. She must have safely gotten off the roof. Yes. Come on up, you call back. Turning back to Lewis, you introduce yourself, but Lewis does not offer to shake hands. Probably, because he's afraid of COVID. So, we don't shake hands anymore. We do like a fist bump or something. No, we don't do a fist bump. We do like an elbow bump. We don't do anything. That's true. We just bow to each other now. All right, doesn't shake hands. Why did you leave home, you ask? It must have been pretty bad for you to choose this kind of life. And there's Lewis. Looks pretty messed up. We've got a pocket on our jacket that's like in a weird spot, but that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, air high five. Bring back formal bowing in public. Yeah, that's what we'll do from now on. I'll do it. Ghost butts? There might be. There might be some ghost butts. You never know. He's doing the Thriller dance. Yeah, that's this person probably did some research by watching the Thriller music video for sure. Rob, I'm sure. All right, turn to page 65. Lewis suddenly sits down on the floor and leans back against the wall, staring into space. You wonder whether he has forgotten you're there. Are you in there? Comes Jenny's voice again. She's at the top of the attic stairs. Over here, you yell, and to Lewis you say, Meet my friend Jenny. Jenny runs up beside you, stopping short as she spots Lewis. Why, you're not a ghost, she says to him. But if you don't start eating more, you soon will be. Lewis smiles for the first time and slowly gets to his feet. He ran away from home, you explain to Jenny. I lived with my uncle, Lewis says. He was drunk a lot, and I bet you'd like a hot bath and a good meal, Jenny says. You can come over to my place, you add. We'll fix you up. Thanks. Thanks very much, Lewis says. He walks over to the corner of the attic, gathers up some clothes strewn on the floor, and stuffs them in a backpack. Then he follows you and Jenny down the stairs and out of the house. Poor Lewis. He's been having a rough time. 67. Lewis, is there anyone else you could live with besides your uncle? Jenny asks as the three of you walk down the road. His face brightens for a moment. My half-brother lives in Alaska. He said I could come up and live with him, but I'd have to raise my own bus fare. And that's a lot of money. Maybe so, you say, but we'll help you find a way. You could even join our team of ghost hunters, Jenny says with a laugh. After all, you've had valuable experience living in that haunted house. I don't know if I want to be a ghost hunter, Lewis says, but I'm pretty good at carpentry. Great, you say. I know a builder. I'm sure he could use you on his crew. Lewis, says Jenny emphatically, you're already halfway to Alaska. The end. They're definitely grooming Lewis for no good. Want to join our ghost hunting cult, Lewis? It's gonna be fun. And then you'll recruit somebody, and then they'll recruit somebody, and they'll recruit somebody. That's not a bad ending. That was pretty good. Rob, you thought that ending blowed? I mean, we rescued somebody. I mean, we didn't meet any ghosts. That's true. Jenny is way too optimistic about Alaska. Yeah. I mean, just because his half-brother lives up there, I'm 12. I'll get you hired by my Alaskan building team. Sure. That'll work out. All right, so let's see. We didn't actually meet any real ghosts yet. I don't think we really had any choices when we went with Jenny other than whether or not we were going to go up to the roof or she was. And then from there, it was either we helped Lewis or we got ourselves killed and broke our necks. Well, broke our necks and then we were killed. So I don't know. That was odd. Yeah, Jenny is patronizing, and Lewis doesn't need that right now. I agree, Rachel. We don't know a builder, but we know a kid that he builds with Legos. That's kind of the same thing, right? Carpentry, Not the you cut pieces of wood and they just like click into place, right? Oh, we could have chosen to help her on the roof. That's right. That's right. Let's do that. Let's do all the adventures with Jenny that we could possibly do. Oh, so, okay. So, he's not in Alaska. He just likes Eskimo pies. Are they still called Eskimo pies? I don't. It seems like they might have changed the names to those. I feel like I read an article where they were like looking into changing the name to something else. All the possible gendings, yes. All right, so we'll run up. We're gonna run upstairs. We're gonna run to the upstairs porch to see if you can help. See if we can help Jenny. Would never hurt you, Jenny. You run upstairs and out onto the second floor porch. Jenny is clinging to the roof, slowly working her way down. The roof is too steep. She slips. She's sliding off the roof. You reach out and grab her wrist. Pulling with all your strength, you lift her up to the porch railing. Thanks, Jenny says, shaking as she slides off the railing and onto the porch. That face, it was horrible. Please, let's get out of here. You and Jenny head back down the hill, happy to have escaped the gray mansion alive and sane. You didn't trap a ghost, but at least you found one, or so it seems, and you can consider yourself a fully qualified ghost hunter. The end. Actually, we can't, because we know that wasn't really a ghost, and so now I guess Lewis is just going to starve in that house. But we did rescue Jenny. Why is it that she didn't slip off the roof in the other choice? Maybe it was just like the act of us like going upstairs that like shifted the house just enough that she slipped, like a butterfly flapping its wings, perhaps. I don't know. But it's nice that we rescued Jenny. That's cool. And the fact that we were able to lift her up, like, I don't know, we're pretty strong for a 12-year-old. No. We can tell ourselves that we're fully qualified ghost hunters, but we're really not. Alright, so I don't know if I showed a good... Here we go. There's us help. Rescuing Jenny. Alright. I think those were all the Jenny adventures. In this ending, Lewis is actually... Yeah, in the other universe... In this universe, Lewis is now actually a ghost. He actually starved inside that house, and now he's haunting that house. It's the elbow patches that make us strong. It's like an exoskeleton. Right, Rob? Alright, let's see. So well, actually we could go back to, do we want to like not pay a call to Professor Zyback and just, oh, you know what? That was the same thing. So I guess the only other option is to just decide to hunt for Harlow Thrombey's ghost instead and not join Jenny. I think we've done all the Jenny joining that we can do today. Wasn't there another guy in the last story? I forget his name. Was it Ricardo? That was in the other story? I feel like it was. I guess he moved away. I guess he quit the business. Harlow. Yeah, there was another kid. Well, maybe all that time Jenny was actually just into us, and she wasn't into the other guy, and so like he got the hint and left town. That's probably what happened. So, alright, so I guess that is the only other option. So we'll turn to page 18. We're going to check out... Nobody's into us. We're going to check out the Harlow Thrombey house. You decide, first of all, to pay a call on Howard Grimstone, the new owner of the Thrombey house. You're sitting at your desk thinking about what to ask him when a woman appears at your front door. I'm Sylvia Rustin, Jane Thrombey's niece, she says. May I come in? Of course. You take a close look at your visitor as you usher her into your office. She is a rather plump, round-faced woman, in her 40s, you'd guess. Her skin is so fair you imagine she must sunburn very easily. Her yellowish hair is curly. She looks as if she has a basically happy nature, but right now she seems tense and anxious. You had heard that Jane Thromby had left most of her money to Sylvia, and you're curious to know what brought her to see you. Sit down. What seems to be oh my god, plump round-faced woman. Here we go. Yep. Time for the fat shaming to begin. Yeah. Sit down. What seems to be the problem? You motion her towards the old couch next to your desk. I'm penniless, and I should be rich. You search. Yeah, so should I. I should be rich too. You search Sylvia's eyes for a clue to her character. What do you mean? I heard you inherited most of your Aunt Jane's wealth. Everything except the house. Turn to page 26. Yeah, that does look like something from the screen's Dropkick Murphys as it reloads. Although, I mean, that does not look like any kind of gun I've ever seen. I don't know what kind of, like, I guess that's supposed to be a shotgun or something. It looks like he's just holding, like, a big metal tube, though. But, okay. Turn to page 26. Sylvia leans towards you. Aunt Jane provided in her will that the house and furniture be sold and the proceeds given to charity. All her money and jewels were to be left to me. But before she died, she put her money into diamonds. She even told me how many. There were 37. One of them was the famous Khartoum star, one of the largest diamonds in the world. She hid them in a red leather box, and I'm the only one who knows it. The house has been sold, but I'm sure the diamonds are still in it. In fact, I think I know exactly where they are. Aunt Jane once showed me her secret hiding place, behind a wood panel in the right rear corner of the cedar closet in the attic. What do you know about Howard Grimstone, the new owner? Not much, Sylvia replies with a shrug, but there are a lot of rumors about him. I've heard he's a big drug dealer. There's also a rumor that he's in the arms smuggling business, that he makes bombs for terrorists. Not the kind of man you could ask to help you look for your diamonds, I guess. By now you can see that this is going to be a tricky case, and it will delay your new career as a ghost hunter. Besides, you're not really sure you can help. If you tell Sylvia you don't think you can help her, turn to page 8. If you tell her that you'll think about it, turn to page 34. Yeah, diamonds are a really bad investment. I'm not even sure if they're a girl's best friend. Either. Oh. Are diamonds a bad investment? Are there like too many diamonds? I'm not showing anyone my diamond hiding place. Yeah, I wouldn't. Why do that? Seems like a bad idea. We don't help plump people. I'm sorry. Come back when when you're a little less plump. He also smuggled diamonds in the animated movie The Chipmunk Adventure. Was that like a Chipmunk Adventure from like the 80s? Didn't they do like a live action Chipmunk movie? Well, I don't know why they did that. It's like that just seems wrong, like CGI chipmunks. Okay, anyways. So Beth thinks we should tell her that we'll think about it. Yes. The Chipmunks used to be huge back in the 80s. That was like one of my sibling had a like a giant, like I think it was like the Theodore chipmunk because he had glasses. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Okay. So does anyone else think we should tell her that we'll think about it? Tell her that we'll sleep on it? Baby, let me sleep on it? And we'll give her our answer in the morning. I wish you could stand the amount of times you listen to a Chipmunk's Christmas record, yeah. Oh, so now it's, so they don't hold any value anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry, Simon. Alvin, Simon, Theodore. Doot, 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 doot. We're the Chipmunks. Guaranteed to brighten your day. Okay, so... Anyways, Oh, that's right. She's watching. Yeah, we used to watch the Chipmunks cartoon on Saturday mornings. That was pretty good. That was pretty cool. There's an earworm. Yeah, I have that Chipmunk song in my head now. Where the Chipmunks? Chipmunk. Where? Oh man. Oh no. All right, so we're gonna tell her that we'll maybe help Sylvia. There's an earworm. Oh my God! Imagine if someone had made that into a poem. What? Sexual snake dance in a chipmunk movie? That seems wrong. All right, help Sylvia. I guess we're gonna help Sylvia, right? Even though she's plump and round faced. Probably, yeah. Anyways, we'll think about it. Well, I'm coming up just telling her yes that we'll do it. We're telling her that we'll think about it. All right. After Sylvia Rustin leaves, you sit at your desk wondering how you can possibly help her. If you take the case, you'll hardly be able to set up Grimstone and ask if you can search a closet in his attic. If you were to tell him what you are looking for, diamonds would surely vanish by the time you got there. You tilt back, feet on your desk, eyes closed. A loud knocking interrupts your thoughts. Opening the door, you find a rather short, stocky man. His oily, graying hair is slicked back over his head. A close-shaven mustache looks like a line of grease paint over his thin, almost non-existent upper lip. I'm Howard Grimstone. I've heard you're a private detective, and I need your help. Oh my God, him too? You try to hide your astonishment. Well, please come in. You motion to the same old couch Sylvia Rustin so recently vacated. What's your problem? Here we are, talking to Grimstone. Romancing the Grimstone. No, I don't think we're going to be romancing the Grimstone. It's the strangest thing, Grimstone begins, and what strikes you as a rather phony tone of voice. I recently bought a house owned by Jane Thromby, who died a few months ago. It's a great house, suits my needs in every way, but it has one problem. Grimstone leans forward as if to add emphasis to his statement. And what's the problem? Ghosts. The place is haunted. Strange wailing sounds and lights. My employees and I can't get a good night's sleep. That's bad enough. But other things have been happening. Last night the crystal chandelier began swaying wildly. Then some of the crystals crashed on the dining room table. One of my men was cut by flying glass. I've never believed in ghosts before, but I'm telling you, there's one in that house. What do you want me to do? Grimstone leans forward. His thin lips stretch into some sort of a smile. I need someone to find that ghost and get rid of it. I need a ghost hunter. I'll think about it and let you know in the morning. Give you my answer in the morning. Let me sleep on it. Right. As he leaves, Grimstone turns. I'll make it worth your while. He makes a lot of money with all the gun running and like drug dealing and all that stuff. So not the chandelier, yeah. It actually is like Ghostbusters when they go into that hotel and like destroy that room, and then like at the very end the chandelier falls on the ground. This kid needs to stop weighing people. I know everyone's like being judged by their weight. And that was what people did in the 80s. All right, go to page 20. He will make it worth our while. This case is getting very interesting. Whom should you work for? Sylvia Rustin or Howard Grimstone? It wouldn't seem right to work for both of them without telling them what you're doing. Yet, that doesn't make sense. You'd be more inclined to work for Grimstone. You want to be a ghost hunter. On the other hand, you don't like the idea of working for a criminal. Still, Grimstone isn't asking you to do anything illegal, so why not take the case? Yeah, you feel some loyalty to Sylvia Rustin because she came to you first. You can't just let your thoughts go round in circles like this. You've got to make a decision. If you decide to work for Sylvia Rustin, turn to page 28. If you decide to work for Howard Grimstone, turn to page 70. You remember when a kid When kiddos went on 2 dates at once. When did we? I don't remember that. Sounds like the plot to like a really bad movie.
Well, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Grimstone is a crook, but he will help us find some ghosts. We can't do both. We can only work for one or the other. So Stephanie thinks we should help Grimstone. Well, I'm saying Sylvia. Some more votes for Sylvia. Work for the guy but hunt for the diamond. Yeah, why couldn't we do both? Sylvia. Excuse me. Sylvia. Okay, we got a lot of votes for Sylvia. I guess we're going to help Sylvia. I don't think it'll let us do both. Well, we'll see. You call Sylvia Rustin, and she agrees to come over right away. While waiting for her to arrive, you turn over in your mind this problem. If you ask Grimstone to let you look for the diamonds, won't you be at his mercy once he sees where they are? When Sylvia arrives, a discouraged look on her face, you don't have a chance to explain your thinking before she begins talking a mile a minute. The more I think about this, the more hopeless it seems, she begins. If I can't get a court order, I don't see how we can get those diamonds. It's not as if we're trying to catch Grimstone doing something wrong. He's not stealing the diamonds. He doesn't even know they're in his house. I agree, you say. I think the only thing to do is to confront Grimstone. Tell him we know where the diamonds are and can lead him to them. Then, we'll jointly turn them over to the police. Based on what you've told me, I feel confident that any court would rule that you are their rightful owner. Because in the Choose Your Own Adventure books, the police are always on our side and always just trying to help us and, you know, arrive just in the nick of time to save the day. This is a Kids Choose Your Own Adventure book from the 80s. Alright, go on to the next page. But you're acting as if Grimstone can be trusted, Sylvia protests. As soon as we show him the diamonds, he might very well kill us. At the very least, he'll pocket them all and claim we made up the story to blackmail him. You have a good point, you reply. But I've been thinking about this problem. I think I have a way around it. Before we go to Grimstone's house, I'll mail letters to the police, telling them what we're about to do. We'll be able to warn Grimstone that if anything happens to us, the police will know exactly who is responsible. It still sounds risky, Sylvia says, but I'm willing to try it. Now, why would we show him where the diamonds are? I don't get that. We are so smart. We're going to mail letters to the police. And then we're going to mail some letters. Hopefully we'll remember to put enough postage on the letters that the letters actually reach the police. Couldn't we just bring the letters to the police and ask them to, like... Well, no, then the police would ask, like, why we're giving them letters, I guess. All right. Overthinking it. Turn to page 42. When Sylvia calls Howard Grimstone and tells him that she and you know of the secret location of some jewels in his house, he immediately invites you both over. Approaching the imposing mansion, you cast an anxious eye on the dog pen attached to the house. 2 huge mastiffs lunge up against the chain link fence, as if they are ready to tear you to bits. Well, I know that feeling. Howard Grimstone, his piercing dark eyes watching your approach, is waiting, smiling, at the door. Please come in, he says, and leads you and Sylvia into the sumptuous house where Harlow Thrombey lived and died. Behind Grimstone is a hulking thug of a man, with a crew cut and a flat, unhealthy-looking face. It's all right, Kenny, Grimstone says to the thug, who slips into the shadows. Grimstone then turns to greet you, as if you were long-lost friends. Of course, if there are diamonds hidden here, we shall turn them over to the authorities, he says. And if the court rules that they belong to you, Miss Rustin, I shall be the first to congratulate you. Go on to the next page. Kenny the Thug. Sounds like a very menacing name, right, Rachel? Well, if a face is very flat, I guess that's what makes it look unhealthy. Yeah, we're trying to groom other young ghost hunters. That's what we do. That's what we do in this book, Rob. So we gotta start early. Yeah, that isn't racist at all. No. Well, at least they didn't go into too much detail, so you know. Yeah. You're suspicious of Grimstone's oily smoothness. Why is he always oily? Is he like? I feel that there's like some racism there somewheres. While he talks, you cast your eyes at the expensive wood paneling and the heavy oak furniture that couldn't be bought in ordinary stores. Okay. Harloth Romby certainly lived in the grand manner, you reflect. Still, you wouldn't want to live in a house like this, even if you were a millionaire. It's too dark and gloomy. Well, says Grimstone after a long pause, where are the diamonds? In the attic, Sylvia replies. Well then, Grimstone says, follow me. Grimstone leads the way, followed by Sylvia, then you, and then our best friend Kenny, up the 3 flights to the attic. As you approach the cedar closet, you get ready to say the words that may be necessary to save your life, for you are by now convinced that Grimstone might kill you and Sylvia as soon as he learns the location of the jewels. So it's here then, Grimstone says, as you stop before the door to the cedar closet. At that moment, you turn around and face him. You should know, Mr. Grimstone, that a letter is already in the mail. The police will receive it tomorrow. Well, that's going to help you today, right? Okay. It says that if I don't call them within 2 days, it will mean that harm has come to me at your hands. Wait, so they receive it tomorrow, and then it's 2 days later. So 3 days from now, the police will finally take action, right? I'm sure, like, you won't already be dead by then. Yeah, okay. Grimstone looks at you menacingly. His voice is filled with sarcasm. What a rude thing to say. You don't deserve my hospitality after that. Now, show us the diamonds. Turn to page 58. Yeah, that is kind of pretty rude saying we send letters to the police, you know? Kid, 911 takes 3 hours in this neighborhood. By the time they show up, you're already going to be dead. All right. You open the cedar closet door, and Sylvia points towards the secret panel. You deftly pry it open and expose a small red leather box. It is filled with glittering diamonds. One of them, as big as a walnut, seems almost to be giving off its own light. Sylvia gasps, "The Khartoum star!" Grimstone suddenly shoves you aside and grabs the box. "I'll take these and turn them over to the police." "Wait a minute," you cry, but Grimstone strides out of the closet, holding the box out of your reach. "Throw them out! Show them out, Kenny!" "Let me count those diamonds," you demand. To your surprise, Grimstone turns around and hands you the box. "Go ahead." You count the diamonds. 37 in all. Grimstone quickly snatches the box and slams it shut. Suddenly, there is a wailing voice, like that of some lost soul who has been stripped of every possession, every friendship, every hope. A wail that grips you with terror. Grimstone clutches the box of diamonds tightly. His hands are shaking. A whirlwind of white streaking light surrounds you. It closes in as if it's about to squeeze you to death in a coil of ghostly energy. Oh man, a wail that grips you with terror. Yeah, if this is the end, this is going to be a pretty bad end. Oh, Khartoum? No, it's not Khartoum Star. Sorry. It's Khartoum Star. Kind of sounds like cartoon, though. If you run for the stairs, turn to page 83. If you stand fast, turn to page 87. So should we run for the stairs? Or should we stand fast? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to outrun a ghost, because ghosts are really fast. Reenact a cover. Yeah. There we go. Oh, there we are with the box and the jewels. That's that exact scene. Wow. Okay. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Stand fast. Yeah, we don't run. All right, so we're not running. The expert said we'll be fine. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about it. Professor Zybok. 87. It's good that we talked to him. Forgot about that. Yeah, we're specifically told how to handle this guy. You stand there, faking it, trying to act at ease, when you're actually frightened out of your wits. Sylvia tugs at your hand. It's horrible! She tries to pull you towards the stairs, but you stand your ground, determined not to give in. When I think of stand your ground now, I don't think of like not being afraid of ghosts, but you know, this is the 1980s. Okay. The wailing increases in pitch and loudness. Suddenly, Kenny bolts. You hear him charging down the stairs like a stampeding bull. Then, you hear a thunk. Grimstone falls to the floor. The noise ends abruptly, and the light begins to fade. He's fainted, Sylvia says. You quickly grab the box of diamonds. Let's get out of here. But as you and Sylvia start towards the attic steps, a gray-white figure confronts you. Even in its unformed, shifting state, you recognize it as the ghost of Harlow Thrombey. You stop in your tracks, paralyzed by the stare of hollow eyes, which emit an energy that penetrates your brain, carrying a message. Your fate is to be spared this time. The image fades into blackness. Grimstone stirs on the floor. You and Sylvia hurry out of the house. Kenny is nowhere to be seen. A few weeks later, the court rules that Sylvia Rustin is the rightful owner of Jane Thrombey's diamonds, worth $615,000. Sylvia pays you a handsome fee for your help. Wow, we're rich now. $615,000. Oh, I mean, well, I wonder what the handsome fee is, though. Hey, anyone got any spare fate? Your fate is to be spared this time. I've got some spare fate if you need some. There's no fate but what we make. There's no fate but what we make. Alright, Sylvia pays you a handsome fee for your help. Later, you read that Grimstone has been convicted of a dozen major crimes and sentenced to prison for 199 years. He's probably going to be a ghost too, and haunting that jail cell. The end. There we are. There's the ghost of Harlow Thrombey. We made a whopping $328. Woo! Now we can retire. Alright, well, I think that's the best ending we're going to get. So I think I'm going to stop here, especially since all the poison ivy in my arms is like driving me crazy these past couple of days. So hopefully by next week I will not be... Word up, Ryan? Yeah, that would be like 1.5 million today. Yeah, that would be more. 615,000 cartoon diamond. Yeah, you would think the cartoon diamond would be worth a lot more. Yeah, we're rich. The bad guys lose. You know, we found a ghost. We didn't get killed by the ghost. I mean, what more could we ask for? You know. Yeah. And there's a lot more to this story. Maybe this will be one to like come back to and revisit. But yeah, I think I'll stop here. It's been about an hour usually. Yeah, what is it with the oily? There's like oily dudes. I think that's like gotta be some like, I mean, this is the 80s, so there's gotta be like some racism there. There's like judgments made about like people's weight and a lot of these early books. Well, this is 52, so you would think by now things would be getting a little bit better, but I mean, yeah, rotund rascal. I don't think we'll ever run out of books. There's like so many of them. They publish so many, like into the hundreds. Bye, Sue. So it's gonna take a while to run out of books. Then I have all like the Dungeons and Dragons type books that we could try again. The one about the werewolf, that seemed to go pretty well. I have some things I thought of making that go a little bit more smoothly and kind of do less explanation at the beginning, maybe. You know, it's not really necessary. We don't need to create a character at the beginning. I'll just create it beforehand, and so on. Yeah, it would be nice. There is another book that deals with werewolves. It's like a werewolf night. It's the Wizards, Warriors, and You series, where it's the same story, but you can read the story as the wizard or as the warrior. So, like, if you're the wizard, then, you know, the warrior's there, but you don't control what they do. And if you're the warrior, then, you know, it's the other way around. And you choose, like, which spells you want to use as the wizard, and then as the warrior, you can choose what weapon you want to use. So, Chuck Tingle's Choose Your Own Adventure, yeah. And those are completely, like, not X-rated. Are they? I don't know. I guess we can find out. I mean, you know, we're all adults here, so. I mean, there was a point in this book where it talked about having our brains penetrated. I was like, they like to use that word a lot in these Choose Your Own Adventure books. I don't know why, but all right, yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll call it a night on this. Yeah, completely X-rated. Yep, totally X-rated. Maybe. Take it down. Facebook. Oh, that's right. If Facebook would take that stuff down right away. All right, thanks. You're welcome, Beth. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, I don't want to read a Choose Your Own Adventure book that's like too racy, you know. I'd have to do it on like a different platform, like do it on. I could do it on Twitch if people wanted to watch through Twitch, but then it would be like, that's not just. I wonder if you can limit your audience on Twitch to just like certain people, but then everyone would have to go on Twitch, so that's possible. But anyways, I have done some Twitch streams with like video games and stuff, so I wouldn't mind. I'd be able to set that up if people were into it. All right. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching, Rob. It was a joy to do this. I really enjoy doing these, and I look forward to keep on doing them. I didn't actually think anyone would actually, when I started doing these, like I didn't think anyone actually would want to watch these. Would want to watch me read a Choose Your Own Adventure book, and I was thinking like it was just started during the pandemic, and I was like really bored. We weren't leaving the house, and I said to Valerie, "Oh, I think I'll do this. I want to read a Choose Your Own Adventure book." And I'll just like read it by myself, even if no one's watching. I'll still get something out of it. So the fact that like you all show up and watch this every week is like an added bonus. Yeah, maybe I will. Oh, Stephanie, okay, maybe I will start doing that. Start reading these on Twitch. Maybe I'll do. This will be Tuesday night. I'll do this on Facebook, and then maybe on Twitch I'll read, non-Facebook approved readings. So, all right, guys. All right, well, I'm gonna call it a night and put some more ointment on my my arms that are covered with poison ivy, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.